Great ambition is the passion of a great character. Those endowed with it may perform very good or bad acts. All depends on the principles which direct them. Set a goal to achieve something that is so big, so exhilarating that it excites you and scares you at the same time. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. The reason most people fail instead of succeed is they trade what they want most for what they want at the moment. A friend to all is a friend to none. I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. Thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. Silence is safer than speech. Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end. Change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. There is nothing impossible to him who will try. It requires more courage to suffer than to die. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Friendship is always a sweet responsibility, never an opportunity. You cannot teach a man anything, you can only help him find it within himself. Well begun is half done. Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies. Look closely. The beautiful may be small. He is the richest who is content with the least, for content is the wealth of nature. All truths are easy to understand once they are discovered. The point is to discover them. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Dare to think. If you reveal your secrets to the wind, you should not blame the wind for revealing them to the trees. We choose our joys and sorrows long before we experience them. There is no great genius without some touch of madness. Doubt is a pain too lonely to know that faith is his twin brother. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. A system of morality which is based on relative emotional values is a mere illusion, a thoroughly vulgar conception which has nothing sound in it and nothing true. I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. True knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. The greatest way to live with honor in this world is to be what we pretend to be. A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, "We did it ourselves." It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Whatever possession we gain by our sword cannot be sure or lasting, but the love gained by kindness and moderation is certain and durable. From the deepest desires often come the deadliest hate. A little knowledge that acts is worth infinitely more than much knowledge that is idle. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Beware the barrenness of a busy life. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Rules for happiness: something to do, someone to love, something to hope for. All men's souls are immortal, but the souls of the righteous are immortal and divine. One who makes himself a worm cannot complain afterwards if people step on him. No man is free who is not a master of himself. We must laugh at man to avoid crying for him. There is joy in danger. Each moment free from fear makes a man immortal. I start out by believing the worst. Sadness is but a wall between two gardens. The busier we are, the more acutely we feel that we live, the more conscious we are of life. If a man is proud of his wealth, he should not be praised until it is known how he employs it. Success is the most convincing talker in the world. The unexamined life is not worth living. It always seems impossible until it's done. Worthless people live only to eat and drink. People of worth eat and drink only to live. Nothing has such power to broaden the mind as the ability to investigate systematically and truly all that comes under thy observation in life. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Everything that happens happens as it should, and if you observe carefully, you will find this to be so. To understand the heart and mind of a person, look not at what he has already achieved, but at what he aspires to. The way to gain a good reputation is to endeavor to be what you desire to appear. There are those who reason well, but they are greatly outnumbered by those who reason badly. Employ your time in improving yourself by other men's writings, so that you shall gain easily what others have labored hard for. Our prayers should be for blessings in general, for God knows best what is good for us. Impossible is the word found only in a fool's dictionary. Wise people create opportunities for themselves and make everything possible. Genius is the ability to independently arrive at and understand concepts that would normally have to be taught by another person. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Be slow to fall into friendship, but when thou art in, continue firm and constant. It is not living that matters, but living rightly. The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. You are the only problem you will ever have, and you are the only solution. Change is inevitable. Personal growth is always a personal decision. No evil can happen to a good man, either in life or after death. He and his soul are not neglected by the gods. He is a man of courage who does not run away, but remains at his post and fights against the enemy. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. Thoughts without content are empty. Intuitions without concepts are blind. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. Courage cannot be counterfeited. It is one virtue that escapes hypocrisy. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Only the educated are free. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. Look back over the past, with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future, too. To live happily is an inward power of the soul. Each day provides its own gifts. Poverty is the mother of crime. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. The superior man is distressed by the limitations of his ability. He is not distressed by the fact that men do not recognize the ability that he has. It is the nature of the wise to resist pleasures, but the foolish to be a slave to them. The world turns aside to let any man pass who knows where he is going. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. To practice 5 things under all circumstances constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Know, first, who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. The superior man always thinks of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. All philosophy lies in 2 words, sustain and abstain. Keep silent for the most part, and speak only when you must, and then briefly. It is easy to hate and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. To know what you know and what you do not know, that is true knowledge. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. Freedom is not procured by a full enjoyment of what is desired, but by controlling the desire. We should feel sorrow, but not sink under its oppression. The essence of philosophy is that a man should live so that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things. It is not he who reviles or strikes you who insults you, but your opinion that these things are insulting. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Better a diamond with a flaw and a pebble without. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given away. Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up, if thou wilt ever dig. Ten people who speak make more noise than 10,000 who are silent. Do every act of your life as if it were your last. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the three universally recognized moral qualities of men. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. Difficulties are things that show a person what they are. When we see persons of worth, we should think of equaling them. When we see persons of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. Is freedom anything other than the right to live as we wish? Nothing else. God has entrusted me with myself. Neither should a ship rely on one small anchor, nor should life rest on a single hope. It is the cause, not the death, that makes the martyr. Death is nothing, but to live defeated and inglorious is to die daily. By three methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Men are more easily governed through their vices than through their virtues. The object of the superior man is truth. Ability is of little account without opportunity. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. To the wise, life is a problem. To the fool, a solution. Anger cannot be dishonest. The superior man makes the difficulty to be overcome his first interest. Success only comes later. Look not at what is contrary to propriety. Listen not to what is contrary to propriety. Speak not what is contrary to propriety. Make no movement which is contrary to propriety. I am not one who was born in the possession of knowledge. I am one who is fond of antiquity, and earnest in seeking it there. Great men are meteors designed to burn so that earth may be lighted. Go before the people with your example, and be laborious in their affairs. Because a thing seems difficult for you, do not think it impossible for anyone to accomplish. To understand the man, you have to know what was happening in the world when he was 20. When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. If you wish to be a writer, write. There are but two powers in the world, the sword and the mind. In the long run, the sword is always beaten by the mind. Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. A true man hates no one. First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. You are a little soul carrying around a corpse. Because your own strength is unequal to the task, do not assume that it is beyond the powers of man. But if anything is within the powers and province of man, believe that it is within your own compass also. A superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Never give a sword to a man who can't dance. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Courage is like love, it must have hope for nourishment. If we could read the past histories of all our enemies, you would disregard all hostility for them. Natural ability without education has more often raised a man to glory and virtue than education without natural ability. The greatest danger occurs at the moment of victory. Knowing others is wisdom, knowing yourself is enlightenment. The superior man does not, even for the space of a single meal, act contrary to virtue. In moments of haste, he cleaves to it. In seasons of danger, he cleaves to it. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. You cannot open a book without learning something. The extent of your consciousness is limited only by your ability to love and to embrace with your love the space around you and all it contains. When the best leader's work is done, the people say, "We did it ourselves." Do the difficult things while they are easy, and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. If you do not change direction, you may end up where you are heading. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell. Let not your mind run on what you lack as much as on what you have already. Execute every act of thy life as though it were thy last. To understand the true quality of people, you must look into their minds and examine their pursuits and aversions. Virtue is not left to stand alone. He who practices it will have neighbors. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. Treat those who are good with goodness, and also treat those who are not good with goodness. Thus goodness is attained. Be honest to those who are honest, and be also honest to those who are not honest. Thus honesty is attained. The only victories which leave no regret are those which are gained over ignorance. By letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. But when you try and try, the world is beyond the winning. He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still. Be content to see what you really are. Men exist for the sake of one another. He who does not trust enough will not be trusted. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. If I am walking with two other men, each of them will serve as my teacher. I will pick out the good points of one and imitate them, and the bad points of the other and correct them in myself. If you think in terms of a year, plant a seed. If in terms of 10 years, plant trees. If in terms of 100 years, teach the people. To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. A leader is a dealer in hope. Never contract friendship with a man that is not better than thyself. The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. Manifest plainness, embrace simplicity, reduce selfishness, have few desires. At the center of your being you have the answer. You know who you are and you know what you want. Life and death are one thread, the same line viewed from different sides. To see the right and not to do it is cowardice. Death, like birth, is a secret of nature. Aptitude found in the understanding and is often inherited. Genius coming from reason and imagination, rarely. Whatever the universal nature assigns to any man at any time is for the good of that man at that time. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them, that only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Impossible is a word to be found only in the dictionary of fools. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. Truthful words are not beautiful. Beautiful words are not truthful. Good words are not persuasive. Persuasive words are not good. To lead people, walk behind them. Great acts are made up of small deeds. Anticipate the difficult by managing the easy. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. Take time to deliberate, but when the time for action comes, stop thinking and go in. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation there is sure to be failure. When you know a thing, to hold that you know it, and when you do not know a thing, to allow that you do not know it, this is knowledge. Silence is a source of great strength. Freedom is the right to live as we wish. We should not moor a ship with one anchor, or our life with one hope. If one oversteps the bounds of moderation, the greatest pleasures cease to please. Health is the greatest possession. Contentment is the greatest treasure. Confidence is the greatest friend. Non-being is the greatest joy. An ant on the move does more than a dozing ox. Study the past if you would divine the future. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his action. Nothing is softer or more flexible than water, yet nothing can resist it. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. A scholar who cherishes the love of comfort is not fit to be deemed a scholar. The snow goose need not bathe to make itself white. Neither need you do anything, but be yourself. From caring comes courage. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you are not afraid of dying, there is nothing you cannot achieve. The two powers which in my opinion constitute a wise man are those of bearing and forbearing. Nothing is more difficult, and therefore more precious, than to be able to decide. Man's enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He who is contented is rich. Respond intelligently even to unintelligent treatment. Never in any case say, "I have lost such a thing, but I have returned it." Is your child dead? It is a return. Is your wife dead? It is a return. Are you deprived of your estate? Is not this also a return? It is not death or pain that is to be dreaded, but the fear of pain or death. There are three methods to gaining wisdom. The first is reflection, which is the highest. The second is limitation, which is the easiest. The third is experience, which is the bitterest. They must often change, who would be constant in happiness or wisdom. A gentleman would be ashamed should his deeds not match his words. Without feelings of respect, what is there to distinguish men from beasts? No great thing is created suddenly. Not every difficult and dangerous thing is suitable for training, but only that which is conducive to success in achieving the object of our effort. It's the unconquerable soul of man, and not the nature of the weapon he uses, that ensures victory. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Courage isn't having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have strength. Dignity does not consist in possessing honors, but in deserving them. Arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Be yourself, everyone else is already taken. Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. The world is the great gymnasium where we come to make ourselves strong. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You cannot tailor-make the situations in life, but you can tailor-make the attitudes to fit those situations. When you are tough on yourself, life is going to be infinitely easier on you. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. When you catch a glimpse of your potential, that's when passion is born. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Never think there is anything impossible for the soul. It is the greatest heresy to think so. If there is sin, this is the only sin, to say that you are weak or others are weak. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. Faith is the strength by which a shattered world shall emerge into the light. That man has reached immortality who is disturbed by nothing material. When you do something, you should burn yourself up completely, like a good bonfire, leaving no trace of yourself. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. People do not like to think. If one thinks, one must reach conclusions. Conclusions are not always pleasant. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Anyone who lives within their means suffers from a lack of imagination. There are two tragedies in life. One is to lose your heart's desire. The other is to gain it. When work is a pleasure, life is a joy. When work is a duty, life is slavery. Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy, and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Take up one idea. Make that one idea your life. Think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success.
Thank you for listening. We update regularly. So do subscribe to our channel and like the video.